So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 2021 horoscope. Okay. And this is going to be in a different way that I'm going to do this because I asked people on my post on YouTube, I'm like, give me a number between 1 and 31 or 1 and 30. Give me a number between 1 and 27. Give me a number between 1 and 4. So 8, 5, and 3 were chosen. Okay. And this has two parts to it. Meaning, what I'm doing here is this. And this is actually a very effective way. I'm using the consciousness of the people and the world to show me the path. So the 8, okay, we can look that in terms of numerology, 8, 5, and 3, which is literally controlled by Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter. Because number 8 is Saturn, and number 5 is Mercury, and number 3 is Jupiter. And so we will look at these three things. Then we're going to look at the fact as a chart that I'm trying to look for next year. It simply becomes January 8 with Gemini ascendant because number 5 became the 5th nakshatra. Because remember, I asked between 1 and 27. So the consciousness of majority of the people was towards 5. That means the Mrigshira nakshatra became active. Then I asked between 1 and 4, which means number 3, the third padha of Gemini or this Mrigshira nakshatra is to be used as the ascendant of reading the chart of 2021. Now, because the dominating number is 8, controlled by Saturn, it first of all shows me naturally the major energy of 2021. And again, some of this stuff is going to sound like cliche, because the things the way they have developed, it's somewhat expected. But here's the thing. I mean, the alignments are telling us what is to be. So the number 8 shows that there will be there will be a sudden transformation of power in 2021. Over the world, naturally, people are going to become extremely business-minded and physically conservative. People are you will see there will be sudden burst of people who go towards wealth. And you will also see sudden downfalls of the markets. And because of the energy of 8, duty, commitment, sacrifice will become like 10 times as much towards work. And I'm going to explain that. The other thing we also see, and because of number 5, is that you will see people are going to want to party. People are going to want to look for an escape. The second major theme is going to be people are going to look for escape through something, whether it's substance abuse, or using substances, alcohol, and most definitely gatherings. People are going to run towards gatherings. And then 3, which becomes about Jupiter. Naturally, you will see people are going to become far more spiritual and religious in 2021. And people are also going to save more money in 2021. The other thing you will see in 2021 is sudden jump in population. more children being born in 2021, because number 3 is controlled by Jupiter. But now, and it's so strange that the number 8, 5, and 3 were chosen, because the chart of 2021 is Gemini ascendant with Mrikshira Nakshatra Pada 3, which puts Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn in conjunction in the 8th house. And so the very first thing we see with these 3 planets being conjunct, first of all, Saturn is the Karka, the significator of the 8th house. 8th house is what? Sudden transformation, hidden knowledge, occult, mysticism, secrecy, okay, buried treasure. Mercury is information. Mercury is information, communication. Jupiter represents light. Jupiter represents life. Jupiter represents everything which is living. Jupiter represents obviously prosperity. Jupiter, especially in the chart of Gemini, rules the 10th and 7th house, which is the public and the government. So what this conjunction shows in the 8th house is that there will be sudden discovery of some hidden government secret. Some secret information will be given light and life. Because an information which is secret is buried. It's kind of like you're pretending it's dead because nobody's talking about it, nobody's saying anything. But now that the Jiva Karka is with Mercury and Saturn in this particular chart, shows there will be sudden life to some secret information, some secret knowledge. And especially because I believe all 3 of them will be in Uttarashada. Yeah, all 3 of them. No, Jupiter is in Saravan, but Saturn, Mercury are going to be in Uttarashada. And this really is going to connect not only with the government, but is going to affect the entire world. It's about leaps and bounds of different lands. And because of the fact it's Uttarashada, it definitely connects this particular secret information, okay, with a group of heads of some institution. So like, for example, like there's a committee has 5, 6, 7 people. So with Uttarashada, it shows there'll be people in power that are going to be in a group, and we're going to learn some secret of them due to this conjunction. And it can literally happen in the first month of 2021. And at the same time, if you notice, and this is something unique, that in the 8th house, Pluto is also there, right coming into the nakshatra of Uttarashada. Because like I said, for the past 2 years, I've been looking at Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And I actually discussed this already in my vlogs and my courses. But if you notice, Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto, these 4 are conjunct. And what is this going to show is that sudden change with authority, sudden burst of authority. And it also is going to show suddenly a conflict with some foreign place. Now, in general, of course, if you're looking at like individual charts, then it will definitely have a different theme. And I am going to cover all the ascendant by today or tomorrow, because I was supposed to do it yesterday on my vlogs, November 8th, but then the Prashna didn't allow me to make the video yesterday. So I'm going to do it either by tonight in the evening or tomorrow. But the thing is, because of the fact these three planets are becoming the soul, the foundation of the entire year. One of the things you will see that seventh lord and the eighth and ninth lord and 10th lord. So seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, both are going to be retrograde. Literally from one is going to go retrograde in June, which is Saturn. Jupiter is going to go retrograde in July, and by November they're going to go direct. And what did I say last time when both Jupiter and Saturn came together but started going direct or started going retrograde? Major either uprising, revolution take place. But this time, this particular revolution will be somehow pointed towards money and financial markets, money and wealth, and real estate. But it is going to be, and one thing I will tell you, actually, I wouldn't even wait for both of them to go retrograde. I think retrograde can actually intensify. But because this Pluto's entrance literally on January 1st in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is the original 10th house. And so here Pluto with Saturn and Jupiter, Mercury. It's like, the way I look at Pluto, it's like the nakshatra of Ardra. It's going to take something, completely wipe it off. Like somebody who gets angry and they wipe off the entire desk out of frustration. So there's going to be this complete wipeout of something, especially either related to authorities, government, and obviously markets as well. Because Jupiter is naturally also the karka of the 11th house and second house of money. So it's going to be wiping it off to obviously bring something new. And I was just driving back home and I was looking at these red trees. It was green just 2 months ago and now it's red. And that means it's going to die. The entire tree is just going to be empty. And then new leaves will come in. So whenever destruction happens, it has to happen so the new ones can come in. The new leaves can come in. And obviously the red tree kind of symbolized fire for me. Something with fire. And because I was right coming back, I'm like, I need to make a video now for 2021. So that kind of just became, because right when I looked at the tree, the thought of making the yearly horoscope came into play. Like, let me actually make this right now when I go home after lunch. And right when I looked at the tree, I'm like, it's fall. And these leaves are turning red and then they're going to fall. So one thing I see that through some fire, something to fall. At the same time, if you see in the chart, where's my chart? Venus and Sun are in the 7th house in Sagittarius. And they are both being hemmed by malefics. Ketu on one side, Saturn on the other. Okay? And Sun rules the 3rd house. So first of all, it's the Gemini ascendant, which means the main purpose of this particular, chosen ascendant is going to be about focused on travel. Travel is going to be on minds of everyone. And why is it cliche? Because everything has been locked down. And once things open up, people are going to be like, I want to travel. I want to travel. Travel is going to be a major aspect of 2021. But the 3rd house, the 3rd house, because Gemini is number 3. So if you move to the 3rd house, which is controlled by Sun, is in the 7th house with Venus, who's the 5th and 12th lord. And they're hemmed by malefics. So what this shows that as much as people want to travel, people will feel restricted and restrained from traveling. And this definitely shows either the first, third, and seventh month. So January, March, and July, where there's going to be far more restraint on wanting to travel, wanting to have fun, wanting to experience, uh, the culture and passion in life. You will also see, and I don't know if somebody has the ability to look at this, but January, especially actually January and July, will be the months where most of the divorces are filed all over the world. So if somebody has any access to the statistics or a website that gives like updates on that, I would love to see that. The other thing I see, no compromise amongst diplomats. Because Venus, remember, Sun is the government. Okay? Venus represents the, how do I put this? Actually, it's both Jupiter and Venus. Venus represents diplomats. But Venus and Jupiter also represents the two-party system. The two-party system in any country. Like, for example, in India, there's Congress and then BJP. In US, there's Republican Party and Democratic Party. And usually Democratic and Republic sides are majority present in other countries as well. And so what we see with this hemming and Sun being conjunct Venus in a fiery sign of Sagittarius, there's going to be a far more divide amongst two parties, business dealings, okay, diplomats around the world than any other time. Like cutthroat, if before they could sit down and talk and compromise, this is not going to be the year, where two parties are going to sit down and talk. And especially because it's the overall chart, January and July should be the months to avoid any like partnerships in business. And even like, let's say, marriage. Now, of course, if your marriage time is coming up on an individual basis in July, or January, you can't avoid that, because when it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. One thing I will always say, that whenever you want to get married, choose the nakshatra when moon is transiting the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni, especially on the Virgo side. Because Virgo is earth and commitment. Earth is like very balanced, something that is supporting something. Like you stand on earth, you can't stand on fire, which is Leo. That fire is just like raging passion and raging lust. But Virgo, or the earth, represents groundedness. And so groundedness and an Uttara Falguni's commitment. So if you have to do marriage in these months, do it on Uttara Falguni day on the Virgo side, when moon is transiting. Especially when you're like, let's say, signing the legal documents at the court, or, I guess even they do it at the churches or temples. So that's something you have to keep in mind. The other thing, you see Mars is in the 11th house with Uranus and with the aspect of moon. So as much as Mars is a great planet, especially in the 11th house of markets, you will see like sudden energy. You will notice many people will suddenly want to get into the markets, stock markets. But due to the fact Uranus is there with Mars, in the marketplace. But because of the fact moon is in the nakshatra of Vishaka, in the fifth house, looking at Mars, and it's causing a very powerful Dhan Yoga, because second and 11th Lord are conjunct right now according to the chart chosen through the consciousness of other people. You will see that individuals will be very aggressive towards wanting to go into speculative gains, gaining through speculative gains, but also anger will rise. There is natural rage in I mean, I wouldn't say common public, but especially like city governments, and especially like you can say majority of women, there will be some anger present. There will be willingness to fight, against certain cause with a large group of women. So there will be something related to that. And this is not just one country, it could be actually all over the world. But there's some major situation will rise where everybody will see that. But I also see this as being the period of people being more creative, more artistic, and more edgy with their art with this particular moon. And obviously, as you see, Rahu Ketu are going to be in a 12-6 axis, which is actually quite a good axis for Rahu and Ketu be in the 12-6 axis. Because what it shows, first of all, a lot of people will somehow be interested in wanting to try hallucinogens, wanting to escape through pleasure, and they will search desperately for escape. Whether it's escaping for a vacation, escaping in isolation, escaping through, let's say, drugs or alcohol. The people subconscious, because 12th house is that subconscious, people are just going to look for escape. That's where the head of everyone is going to be. But Ketu also shows there will be a major decrease in putting money on credit cards. Debts will decrease. People will suddenly find this invisible knife in their life. They'll be like, that's it. I'm cutting out my debts and I'm cutting out my ability to deal with unnecessary spending. And also, naturally, this shows that people will become extremely competitive with one another. Cutthroat competition. And again, this can be because of the fact, finally, when things open up into 2021, majority of the crowd is going to be looking for jobs again, who have lost it. Families who have been struggling for the past year, looking for work, and they will go at each other's throat for trying to get that position, trying to get that job. Like even in Ketu being in the 6th, and if you just look at even chart as a country, the people who are the advisors, people who are, representing people in itself, they'll be fighting, cutthroat fighting, which I already explained with Venus and Sun conjunction. But it's like warlike scenario amongst people comes into play. Nobody will back down from another person. Nobody will back down from another person's opinion. So 2021, is a period of a major transformation, which is a word is too commonly used, I think, in astrology, because every month some transformation is happening by someone. But I don't think I have used that before. So I know that there is some big transformation that will pretty much set the world's clock for the next 35 years or 50 years, 35 to 50 years. Something will happen, will just going to change and transform. Now, what are the remedies for especially 2021? Well, one of the best remedies, because of the fact Jupiter and Saturn are both going to be in Capricorn. Okay, now this depends on which house they both are transiting in. But usually either, and well, the thing is, if it's a chart, if I'm looking at an individual chart, then I would probably say, getting a brass elephant becomes very potent and strong. But make sure that the trunk of the elephant is raised up and it has full tusks. But the thing is, to put it in a certain direction, whether it's southwest, west, east, that really depends upon the horoscope, individual horoscope, and what, the situation this person is trying to rectify. But on the common hand, if let's say we're just looking at a commonality, then literally having an elephant on the west wall, a painting of an elephant on the west wall, with the trunk being raised up and having the full tusk, because I've seen some paintings which are more artistic, so the tusk would be broken. You don't want to do that. You want to get a full tusk. Putting it in the west brings this energy of protection. And the other thing, and this is actually a big thing. One of the big things, especially with 2021 of Jupiter and Saturn transit, is take care of your teeth. The better your teeth are, okay, the more you take care of your teeth, the better your situation related to your career, money gains will improve. So take care of your teeth. Very simple thing. Many people don't realize, so for example, you have been delaying fixing your cavities, fixing, your root canals. Well, you need to do that before Jupiter enters into, Capricorn with Saturn. Or at least, before, I would say even March. Make sure that the teeth are in good shape. The second thing you also want to look for is plumbing issues. Overall, if there's any plumbing issues, leaky taps in the home, fix them right away. So if let's say your plumbing issue within your kitchen sink is not good, well, wherever Ketu is transiting in your birth chart from your ascendant, it will cause issue in that particular area of the house. So if let's say you are an Aquarius ascendant, Ketu is transiting the 10,000 Scorpio, and then you have plumbing issues that you don't take care of, you have leaky taps, you just leave them alone, then definitely there will be leakage in your career, draining of your resources in your career. But if you fix them, see what happens when you fix it, it's an omen that, okay, you have some karma in your life related to something, and this is something that needs to be taken care of. But if you take care of it right away, it becomes a positive omen then, oh, you actually paid attention to your karma and you fixed it. Okay, here's the reward for that. So these are the two things that you need to, or three things you need to just focus on and do in general for everyone. Okay. So guys, this was my 2021 horoscope for everyone. And then I'm going to do individual ascendants on my KRS vlogs for the link, which is in the bottom. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. And remember, the Meeting Ketu movie hopefully is coming out on 13th, because I am getting some delay with my special effects. I'm not happy with the special effects, and so I might have to delay it. But so far, just log in around the evening of November 13th, which should be Central US time. And you should see like a time clock for the movie to be premiered live. All right. Bye bye.